Huh. Well, I was taking a deep breath. Hi, everyone. My name is Marty. My name is Marty Forrest. I am coach, mentor, author, empath, and I am going to expand my screen, mute my computer. I was trying to get on Zoom and it tells me I have no permission to connect. I've been doing it every other week, so I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I'm checking out my screen so I can see the comments on my computer. Lisa, I'm so glad. Hi, Tracy. Sometimes the phone is just easier, and I'm solo today, so there we go. That's how it's going to be. So, sorry for being late. I like to be on time. And anyway, I am very happy to be here today. I've been contemplating what the topic is and just paying attention. Like, what I do is pay attention to what's going on in my life, what's happening in my world that is a good conversation to have. And the big topic of the week for the last couple of weeks probably has been about the inner child. Everybody familiar with like the inner child? Let's say inner children, because inner children, we have inner children. You know, I've taught classes on the inner child. I had a course for 7 weeks on the inner child. And that's been a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know. It's been a minute. And then I hear recently somebody talks about we have inner children. And it really deeply resonated for me. We have inner children. Are y'all familiar with the inner child? We've all done a lot of work probably, or at least some work. We acknowledge it. We know we have this little child that has been wounded and lives inside of us. Right? But there are children that live inside of us. And I was like, well, let me just sit with this for a while and see how this unfolds. Well, it's been pretty amazing. I've had some pretty clear interactions with the children, usually one at a time that's disturbed, and then I have the other children that are surrounding me and us and communicating with the one that is upset. Kind of like as I reflect on it, it reminds me of the shadow side. We call it the shadow, and those places that we don't want to look, and those places that we carry our wounds that we don't want to pay attention to, or we've just kind of shoved them in the dark because we don't want to feel that pain. So very similar to that. When we're talking about children, the children are the ones that have been wounded. Okay, so let me expand on this, because let's just feel into it, see how it lands for you. This is how it was for me. We have a child, we have an inner child. And as I built this relationship with my inner child, there's a wound that happened. I call it the original wound. That child is wounded. And now I've created layers and layers and layers of different types of behaviors and personality to protect the inner child from ever feeling that pain again. And then I hear we have children, and I think, oh, so there are many different types and times of trauma in our world that may happen to us or maybe to someone else. I have one that's been showing up repeatedly lately, is a very significant one with my little brother. He's 18 months younger than me, and my dad did something to him. I happen to be standing right there. And we just, we hold our breath. Boom, walks the trauma in our body. And how many times and how many ways did that happen to us? So I'd say if it was every time it happened, we have that kind of an inner child, I think that's maybe extreme. That would be millions of them. There's a lot of wounding that happened. So I feel like there's some significant points in our life, and there are similar traumas. So it would be the same child, but there are many. When I am in a meditation, there are many of them. So one of them, I was meditating And I'm not even sure where it came from or what I was working on, or just here I'm seeing this little girl about 10 years old sitting on the floor like this, all by herself. And all the other little children are playing and laughing and having fun. And so I noticed this little girl sitting by herself, all alone. Why are you over here by yourself? And I don't remember the rest of it, but I remember that. And so it becomes me, and then the other children come along with me. And we comfort and console, and what do you need? How can we go forward in a way that's healthy for us? I don't remember what was going on with that little one at the time. It's just a couple weeks ago. So then the most recent one, I've been writing and sharing about it, is had a back pain. Started out as an ache, and then one day it was really incredibly acute. And it's just been this every day, some level of very discomfort right in my sacrum, right in that low back, like to the point of one day I could barely move. I was like, oh my God. I have not experienced this in a very long time. When I got married the second time and got divorced to that same person. I got married, and I got divorced. And it was sciatica, extreme sciatica, barely move, barely walk. Oh my God, it was so incredibly painful. And I was reflecting on that. I'm like, well, this is not quite that extreme. However, it's very uncomfortable. And when I was meditating yesterday, I was working through the pain, just breathing through it. And then I'm in the shower and I'm breathing, doing my breath, meditating in the shower. And I see this little girl. I go into the area. So something you can do is go into that area when you're meditating, where the pain is, and ask, what's happening here? What's going on here? Your body will tell you. Or show you the little child. And this little girl, about 8 or 9 years old, it's all me, right? Having a tantrum, like full-blown tantrum, screaming at me. You never listen to me. You can't hear me. You don't fucking listen to me. I'm like, stunned. Wow. Like full-blown, on the floor, crying, screaming at me. And the other little ones are like, what's happening? So I can feel them with me. And when the one that was having the tantrum finally slowed down, settled down, like, what do you need? How can we help you? How can we console you? And it wasn't until she started to settle down and, the pain starts to diminish in my back that we can come and hold her and comfort her and rub her back and rub her head and all those things. And how can we go forward? How can we go forward in a different kind of relationship? So rebuilding the bridges with the little children that live inside of us. You just begin with one. And it's usually wherever there's something significant, maybe emotionally going on with you. If there's some emotional disturbance or you're really upset about something, you've been triggered by something, you can do it that way. You can go that route. Because it's all of us. What she said to me was, listen to me. Pay attention to me. And what that means for me is to slow down even more. Pause. Take a moment to pause even more and check in deeper. Pause longer, deeper, feel it. And I share this a lot, pause, breathe, feel. That's how we come into more of our consciousness. That's how we raise our vibration. We pause, we breathe, pause, be still, and feel without judgment. Without giving it a label, without telling a story. Simply feel what's so for you. And the more that you can breathe into that, the more it can clear. And you integrate. And so if it's a child that's showing up, like I have a pain and it's a little girl, thank you for that, a little girl showing up, screaming at me. I have never had that experience. I've had some different ones, but I've never had that extreme. She was really furious with me. Raging. And I was like, why? And that's my default. Anger is my default. So it's not surprising. When it's a pain, it's there's many avenues to tap into this. So if it's an emotional trigger, do that. Go that route. If it's a pain, like I've had this extreme discomfort, I go that way. Because it's been 15 years at least since I've had an experience of this back thing going on. While it's significantly less, it's still noticeable. Still letting me know. Still visiting. I'm going to keep breathing into it. Keep breathing through it. Keep checking in with her. The little girl. Yeah. So there's different stages. When I first went through the inner child work and the inner child transformation and building that relationship, it's like there was like one. And here's this place that I was wounded. And then over the years, we kind of grew up together. And I can still, these are deeper layers. The deeper layers of this. How do we manifest calm around chaos? The calm has to come from you. Thank you for all the little emojis. I love them. Love them. Thank you. Is it Sky? Is that how you say it? I see an H on the end. I don't want to butcher it, so manifest calm. Are you wanting to calm the chaos around you? Is that what you mean? Or because it has to come from us, we have to be the ones calm and we exude that, but that doesn't mean good morning. Perry. So, when there is chaos around me, it depends on how much. If I'm in my home and I have my family who they just like to go down that suck hole of negative, that place, you know, and it's just this constant, and I'm like, and I'm in my head screaming at my angels. I'm like, you have to change this right now. Oh yeah, because she gets triggered by the drama. Because she feels alone and not heard. Like she's silenced in the drama. And not seen, probably. Is that accurate? So I have called on my angels. You can call on whatever you call that. Your helpers, God, Creator, Jesus, Buddha. It doesn't matter to me. Call them in. Thank you. Call them in. And ask them to take care of the whatever the energy is going on. And you may have to do that a few times. Because if I can be calm all I want, but if there's all this stuff going on around me and it's just, even though I may not engage, it's just heavy. It's a very heavy energy. And so it was a specific, it was my parents and my aunt and uncle playing cards, and my aunt and uncle are just, you know, they just go at it a lot. And they're not fighting, it's just a real negative space. And I did that like for 3 or 4 times. I'm like, okay, spirit, hold on. You got to change the energy here, or I got to go to bed and leave the situation. And it took about, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It wasn't very long, and it started to shift, and the conversation started to shift. You can say something. Hey, can we talk about something else now? If it's that kind of conversation going on. If it's just how people are. Does that apply to trigger fear, the deep aspect? Okay, hold on. Let me finish this piece. And I'll come to those questions. If it's in the environment, all around you, like you live in a toxic situation or you work in a toxic situation, you know, the best you can do is to create a big fortifying field. I like to, you know, carry my crystals. I carry a crystal with me and put some crystals in my pocket. I might wear one. Do whatever I can to raise my vibration and assist me in raising my vibration. This happens to be a golden healer. It's a little big for the pocket, but talk to me. I love that. That's awesome. Okay, so hold on. Let me get to these questions. if it's a conversation with people, like a group of people, you can ask to just change the conversation. Like, this is not feeling very good. Can we talk about something else? We were having dinner one night. There was, I don't know, 5 or 6 of us. And then the politics conversation came up. And I immediately went, let's not go there. Can we talk about something else? And they all went, oh my gosh, you're so right. So that was easy because they were respectful. Not everyone is that way. What types of inner child are there? The types of inner child are us. It's all us. It might be different lifetimes, but generally my experience has been, it's been this lifetime at different stages. So when I was like 4 and that happened with my brother and I was traumatized, I have that, like that place where I am traumatized. I immediately hold my breath and now the trauma's in my body. So that's one place. So it's wherever there's been like significant, sometimes they're repeat types of the same trauma. So it can be different ages, depending on where that significant trauma happens. My dad would tell a story that he spanked me when I was 9 months old because I was crying for no damn good reason. I don't have a memory of that. I don't have a memory of that incident. Obviously, I was 9 months old. However, the trauma was in my body at 9 months old. And I was no damn good. That was the message. My needs aren't going to be met. Crying brings pain. So that's all through the sensation and feeling, right? It's not cognitive. It's in our body, so we react from the trauma in our body. I want everyone to understand this because there's nothing wrong with us. Oh, there's a lot of emotion. There's not one goddamn thing wrong with us. We all live from a space of trauma. And trying to protect the trauma, trying to protect us from feeling pain. And until we can clear the trauma and integrate that, that's how we behave. Thank you for the emojis. Okay. How do we heal? Okay, hold on. And there was another one. Types. Okay. Hold on, I'm going back up here. I'm on my computer, so I'm not looking at that screen on my phone. Okay. Does that apply to triggered fear? My thing keeps moving. The deep aspect. Are you talking about can you say more about that? I know I was talking about something when you wrote the question, but I don't know exactly what does that apply to triggered fear, the deep aspect? Are you talking about our, from Red Deer, Alberta? Hi, Callie. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. So glad you all were here. Okay, let me go back to my questions. I talk to my inner child every day. That's so amazing. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How do we heal from trauma? Oh my gosh. Healing from trauma. My screen keeps jumping. How do we heal from trauma? It's a process. It's a process. It's I did some of my own inner work. I've had coaches to help me through it. It's about a lot of breathing into the trauma and allowing the energy to move, because it's energy. It's all, if you think of it's all energy, the deer aspect. Oh, I'm on the page now. When you get triggered and you just freeze from fear. I was reading deep, not deer. I was not connecting. Okay, got it. Okay, now I can answer that question. Healing from trauma it's a process, and it's all energy. So if you think about sharing my voice helps me heal, yes, absolutely. However, you got to know that if you continue to share the story over and over and you still have a charge about it, you're going to keep looping through it. Because if the charge is still in your body, you're just recreating this trauma over and over in your body. Does that make sense? So it's a process. What is that? What do you mean, what is that? Thank you. I love the emojis. I can't even tell you. It just makes me smile. Okay. Talk to my inner child. Heal from trauma. So remembering that everything is energy, we give it a lot of meaning. A lot of meaning. Everything we give it meaning, right? Oh, the deer aspect. Got it. Okay. Oh, I'm going to get to that. So the deer aspect. Okay. So when we continue to tell the story over and over and over about the trauma, like I can tell you today, hey, my dad shared the story when I was 9 months old that he spanked me. I don't care. Like it doesn't matter today. There's zero charge for me today. So it's simply a story to bring a point. If there was still a charge, I would be activating the trauma in my body and continue to loop it through. Like we keep recreating it because we keep telling the same story. Okay. She did. How do you keep others' energy at bay in a crowded restaurant? I always try to get a wall on my back. Absolutely. You don't keep it at bay in a crowded restaurant. It's a good way to do it is have your back on the wall. I do too. I like to have my back against the wall. I don't like to have, but my husband also likes his back against the wall. So if it's just the two of us and we're sitting apart from each other, I watch him and I give it to him. I also like a booth. If I can choose a booth. When we're in crowds, it doesn't matter where we're at. It could be a restaurant, it's a concert, it's energy. So it's fortifying our space. Like I was sharing a minute ago, you know, like here's a smaller one. I have a small little flat. See how small it is? Like it's about the size of my thumb. So, you know, it's easy to put that in your pocket and then you can, you know, you can rub it, you can hold it in your hand if you need to boost your energy. You can charge these. Crystals are all your crystals are chargeable. Like you can charge them with, like, I need to amplify my protective space. Charge it. I can tend that into your crystal. Charge them with the moon. Coming up on a full moon this weekend. So put your crystals out in the moon. If you have crystals, charge them. Clear them out, charge them. You can leave them out there. The moon is on Saturday. So any up to 3 days before and after you get the energy. But the peak is on Saturday. So you can charge them. Yes, in the full moon. Okay, so let me come back. Let me come to Lisa, the deer in the headlights. Hold on. Very interesting. What is the deer aspect? Oh, the deer aspect is, we call it when you have the fight or flight. Fight, flight, freeze. Sometimes we freeze. Deer in the headlights. Have you heard of that phrase? I'm a deer in the headlights. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I tend to shut down. I freeze in that space, or fawn, where we kind of hide. You know, little baby fawns, they hide. Their mothers leave them hidden because they have no smell yet, and they'll go off and forage for the day and come back. So they leave them hidden somewhere. So that's a fawning, where we're trying to hide ourselves. Freezing is that deer in the headlight. The deer aspect, when you get triggered and you just freeze from fear. That is a process, Lisa. It's a process. And it's, because I've been there and I know that place, and there were times I would just like, let me just like put the blinders on and pretend it's not happening. I had someone, especially when you're blindsided, I had someone like just full on like verbally attack me, and I was like standing there. I couldn't even move. I pause and respond. That takes practice. Yeah, once in a blue moon. So that pausing and responding takes a lot of practice because we've never felt safe. That's a blanket statement, but I can tell you most of us have never felt safe in our life. Not 100%. It's a human experience. So even though it's not much, I saw those moments where I'll be like, holy crap. And then I remind myself who I am. And I take a deep breath. And then once I take the deep breath, I have paused. So I take that deep breath. I've paused. And then now I have a moment of clarity because I've now paused and taken a deep breath to decide what is the next action. If I'm on the phone, do I need to hang up? Do I need to tell the person to stop? Do I walk away? Choosing, it's your boundary, right? It's your boundary. However, the fear is often happens when we feel blindsided. It's totally unexpected. That happens in life, but it can trigger that fear for us. So, oh my God. And then, so right there, you froze, right? Freeze. Take the breath. As soon as you notice that you froze, take the breath. And then you have that moment of pause. And then you can actually expand. Like your brain can expand because it has oxygen. You're not in the fight or flight breathing from up here. And you can actually then choose what's the next action. And if it's just to stand there and be frozen, let that be okay. Right? It's okay. We're not bad and wrong. We're human. And it happens. Okay, so let me see here. Sharing my voice. Red deer, what types of modalities are, I'm not sure what you're asking me. I get it. Oh, I get it. Freezing an elite verbally attacked me in Panera. Oh my God. Some random person you didn't even know. Dear. Back in the, okay. Okay. Did I miss anything? Being it's just me, I'm scrolling. I get it. Freezing, and a lady verbally attacked me in Panera. Trying to find a friend. What I got was a laundry list. Laundry list of what? Her laundry list of crap? She was verbally puking on you. You met and became friends. That's awesome. Sometimes, gosh. Okay, so let's talk about that, because being an empath, that happens to us a lot. If we're out and about. I'm not out and about too much these days. We moved to Oklahoma from California, so I just haven't created a very different lifestyle here. And so I'm not out in the public a lot. Your crap. A laundry list of your stuff. Hi, Wisconsin. Hi, Alita. Good morning. Thanks for being here. We're talking about the inner child, inner children. The inner children. She called me a doormat. Well, is it true? A lot of us have been a doormat. So let me take a breath here. We've all been traumatized. I don't know. Something to consider. The doormat is, do you let people take advantage of you, walk all over you, and treat you like shit? That's what being a doormat is to me. Or allowing myself to be manipulated. Because I know how they are, and I still step into their manipulation and do that with them. There's all kinds of ways. So we've all had trauma in our life. Every one of us have had trauma on some level, some way, some form, some varying degree. We've all experienced it. From the womb, from being in the womb, because we're just a blueprint. Our body is a blueprint, and every single thing is energy. Everything. I read it somewhere that if you took all of what looks solid and you condensed it all down, the whole planet, all the people, we would be the size of a sugar cube. Because it's all energy to some different frequency. But when they look under the microscope, it's all light flashes at some speed that I can't even. Hi Trisha. Big question. How did I feel? There was a missing child 5 days before she was missing? Because you were probably picking up on somebody else's energy. How was she missing? Did she just get lost, or she was abducted? Because we pick up on the energy as empath. Well, it doesn't matter. We all have the ability to do that. We are more sensitive as highly sensitive and empathic people of the energy frequency. So you could have picked up the vibe. How many of you have noticed how telepathic you've become? Yes, we read the energy, but we can hear the thoughts, or I have a thought, someone says it out loud. Okay, so let me come back to trauma. Getting off track here. Yeah, Trisha, can you give me a little bit more about that? So we've all been traumatized, and we're all acting from that place. Oh, big story in the news. I don't watch the news, so I would have no idea. You're welcome, Alita. Very, very welcome. We all have trauma. We've all experienced trauma in our life, whether it happened to us or to someone else. When it happens, it's energy. It's in the body. It's stored in our body because it's a blueprint. So we all carry that energy of different places in our life where we've been traumatized. Now, from that trauma, we create behaviors from the mind. Sometimes it's just the sensation, like when I was a baby. I don't have a mind of cognitive ability, but I knew crying wasn't safe unless I was hurt. But to cry for no damn good reason. I was hungry, or I was wet diaper, or whatever. That's no damn good reason. It's just silly. It's silly to me today, but that's how it was for, my parents were young. They didn't know. They're acting from their trauma. This is our human experience, the duality of life here. We have dual things. We have to know what we don't want to know what we do want. Or know what we do want to know what we don't want. Sometimes we can not have to go to that experience. But we're all behaving from the spaces of trying to be safe, wanting to feel safe. How many ways, how many times does your mind spin it? A million different ways, never coming to a solution, because the mind that's trying to keep us safe can only go on the data and experience that it's ever had, like a computer. It's input with all the experiences that we've ever had. That's the only data it can draw from. So we create behaviors, situations, we recreate situations, usually attempting to heal the trauma, but we have no idea how to do that. So we pick the same kind of people, the same kind of experiences, and wonder why, but it's because we're coming from a place of trauma. Thank you for the emojis. What are your questions about that? Love them, thank you. This tickles me. Does it give you a little sense of grace for yourself? Like, all I'm trying to do is feel safe. But the mind cannot really create safety. It creates all kinds of jacked up ways to do that. Because it's basing it on this trauma. Oh, if I cry, I get hurt. So tears are not okay. Having needs is not okay. I spent a lot of my life expecting you to know. Don't you know how I'm feeling? Don't you know how you're supposed to care for me? Because I didn't know how to express it. Hi, Karen. Good morning. I did not express it. I didn't know how to tell you what I needed because it was going to cause pain. But you were supposed to know. And there's my mom's side. Well, I do it all the time. They should just know. Well, if you do it all the time, how are they going to know? They expect you to do it. You see that whole dichotomy? And every single person is doing this. Now, why? What's the purpose? What's your purpose? The core of you, what is your purpose? I was a meditation some time ago, probably guided meditation, and my purpose is to be love. So all of my experiences have driven me, pushed me, if I decide to go that way, to learn how to and to remember that I am love. The core, the essence of me is love. I got to experience that safe feeling for the first time ever this past year, and working on feeling that way always. Oh, such a beautiful thing. Thanks for sharing that. It's such a beautiful thing. And as we release, clear the trauma, integrate trauma, the energy of all that, as we release it, we create safety. Part of the safety is understanding and knowing at our core of us that we never die. We're having an experience here on earth in this earth suit. And we can never get it wrong. Could never get it wrong. Because all of our experiences, if you choose to take the path, are moving us toward the purpose. So I experienced all the ways that I didn't feel were love. But in my parents' mind, they provided a home, food, clothing, all those things. But they had no real idea of how to express it in a way that I could feel it. Now, in hindsight, I can look back and go, well, they expressed it in the way they knew how. So they have all their own stuff that they're dealing with or not dealing with. Thank you. Thank you, Alita. Right? So they don't have a clue how to love me in a way that I feel safe, loved, encouraged. They have no idea how to do that. My dad grew up in an alcoholic home, and my mom grew up with a narcissistic mother. So they're creating all these ways to feel safe for themselves. And then that's how it is for me. They're creating all that with me. And then I create all my own ways. Do you see the? And I chose them to help me. Thank you. Remember why I came here for this experience. I chose them. You chose your parents. Your kids chose you. My friend said to me, gosh, her daughter's now in her 20s. So when she was pregnant, she's like, I hope I don't fuck her up. I'm like, oh, I promise you will. Because that's how it is. That's part of being human, right? It's a part of the human experience. And she just looked at me like, what? Like, we all come in for a reason and a purpose. And we all have certain parents for a reason and a purpose. And it's to help me remember who I am and why I'm here. Is that helpful? I know Alita's saying so good. Thank you for that. What else? There's so much. This is such a really rich, amazing topic. When you get triggered, when you're having a moment, you're having something that's showing up, some emotion that's showing up for you, just tap into that little child that lives inside of you and ask, what do you need right now? How can I help you right now? How can I be here for you right now? So when I very first did a meditation, meeting my inner child, she was like, No. She wanted nothing to do with me. Because I had been kicking her to the curb my whole life. I've been abandoning her my whole life. Because I didn't know how to be there. Now, it's all coming from me, right? But it was an opening. And I would keep visiting. And saying hello. Creating safety for myself and comfort. Until we could become friends. It's different for everyone. Some women that I've had in my course have been like, oh my gosh, she's been waiting for me. And was excited for the reunion. I guess I'd say it like that. It's different for everyone. You may just start talking to your inner child and building that relationship. It's one of the ways that we begin to learn how to love ourselves, because we begin to reparent. We begin to reparent ourselves the way that we didn't receive as a child. Maybe we did. But as sensitive as we are, we always knew what was going on. The undercurrent, even though my mom might be expressing it in her way. And I know some people are, they're just so loving and they're so this. And yet there's always some feeling under that doesn't match. Can y'all relate to that? I have a person in my world now, and there's just something, and I don't have a finger on it. They're always in the same kind of mood. They always seem to be very happy. And it's like, there's something under in the energetic field that I feel that's not quite a match for that. I love her. It doesn't, it's a matter of, I don't know where I said this, but it's a matter of just putting it on the back burner and never mistrusting it. I never dismiss those things. When you get those feelings, never dismiss them. You just might park them. Because there might not be evidence right there. But it's a way to begin to trust yourself when you pick up those feelings. And you're picking up that energy. So I just go, I'm going to just put that over here on the back burner. And if I'm around them long enough, it might get revealed to me. It has nothing to do with me, right? My mom loves men and booze. Yeah. Oof. You can feel that. A lot of sadness. And mom's never available because the men in my mom's world, my mom's not a drinker, but in my mom's world, the boys, the men are the hero and the women are the zero. And I know she loves me, but that will reveal itself in many different ways. And that's what it was, how her mother was. There was 4 of them, 2 boys, 2 girls, and the boys were the little saints, and the girls were the problem. We are evolving as a culture and a human race and a planet. See, she died long ago. Yeah. When I can feel you, I can feel that energy. So when I feel that, I just take that breath and I move it out. I don't need to carry it because I can relate to it. And when I can really relate to it, I have in the past tended to take it on as my own. And today I recognize I'm just feeling your energy and I can breathe through it and let it go. And it helps you to release it too. So as a planet, as we are evolving and the vibration is rising, every 26,000 years, I believe is the number, the Earth did a major catastrophic shift where the dinosaurs died, and then 26,000 years later, something else evolved. You're very welcome. Something else happened. I can't remember all the historic points of what happened, but we're at that point here, and we're not perishing. The planet is not perishing. Hi, Janet. Is not perishing. We are evolving, and we're raising the vibration and the frequency of the planet. That's why it's so intense. Hi, Melissa. Good morning, everybody. So it's riding the waves. It's feeling the intensity. I know I was started with the whole inner child thing, but as we're moving in and the energies come in and they're pushing that old, dense, thick energy, they're pushing us to move it out. They're like the energy's pushing us as it raises. My husband of 24 years, I don't feel safe. I saw red flags, did not ask God if he was for me, and tried to change the red flags to green. I so hear you, sister. I have grown and learned so much over the last 6 years since my children are moved on. I find him so resentful. I try to understand he is not me, but trigger, as he's emotionally unavailable. And that is what I need. My inner child is so broken and abandoned by me through motherhood and domestic violence. Oh, at age 16, I've told him what I need over. Nah, you can't tell him. This entire time, begging, pleading to know what the issue was for the lack on the relationship, even leading, because he has his own stuff. Hold on, it moved. Shoot. Even leading to toddler fits of rage, knowing something I couldn't put my finger on. He finally shared what I felt in my heart was the issue, no intimacy or communicating in this relationship. But how can you blame him when I was demanding respect that I myself would give? However, he now says he's changing and going to work on himself with God. Yay. However, it is so difficult to meet him with grace where he is, as I have learned so much. He's not abusive. Okay. Well, yes, it's relative. That is relative. Emotional neglect is abusive. But it's a word, right? Let's just let go of the word. The DM partner is long gone. This is a different man. Ah, yes. I'm a very brave, strong woman. You are. And so, okay, so let's just let go of the abuse, because in my world, I'd be like, yes, he is, but it's how it is. It doesn't really matter. That doesn't matter. It's a word that we label it, and then it means all kinds of stuff. You said he does not respect you. Sorry, let me go back to this. I'm saying that. And finally shared what's in my heart. The issue, no intimacy or communicating in this relationship. But how can I blame him when I was demanding respect that I myself would give? Well, it's exciting that he's deciding to work on himself. If I'm formulating words here. If you're demanding respect from someone else, are you giving it to yourself? When we respect ourselves, when we love ourselves, that's part of your relationship with him is you learning to be that for you. He can't give that to you unless you give it to yourself. And he may not be able to give it to you because he has his own stuff. Can you see the dynamic of whatever his trauma is? He created his place of safety, not communicating because it was never safe. And we tend to marry one of our parents, sometimes both, whatever those things are that we're trying to resolve. So 24 years is a long time to be married. When you have another focus with the children, yes, Alita, I would love to talk to you more. I can help you with this. It's so common. He's a hard worker, runs to work, avoids, sweeps it under the rug. It must be worked through. And you're just beginning. I want to have it be successful. Yes, of course. Now, the only thing that you have any control, if you have any control over, is you. What I can promise you is if you'll do your own, he'll either come along or go away. It's just like and he may not leave the relationship, but he may not ever be available. But typically what happens, we do our own, we grow, we evolve, we begin to love ourselves. We don't begin. We remember to love ourselves and treat ourselves with respect and honor and have boundaries. And when you start doing that for yourself, that will change the trajectory of your relationship because you're now setting some boundaries and you're treating yourself with kindness and love and grace. And your energy in all of that changes dramatically. And it creates a safe space for him to come into. We're women, so it's about receiving. There's a balance in there, but this one is about receiving. And when I'm demanding, I'm in a very masculine, fear-based state. So if I'm demanding things from him, he's going to go, fuck you, no. Whether he says the words or not. Because it's not safe. And even if he did it on your demand, you wouldn't be able to hear it. I love that. People as you grow will. Feelings Buried Alive is a book. People as you grow will. Hold on there. Moved again. Meet you where you are or go away as long as you have enough love and respect for yourself. We don't make them do anything, Mariah. It's really we set some boundaries and it may be us saying, you know what, I'm done here. I'm not choosing this kind of lifestyle anymore. And we're done. We can't make them do anything, but we can set some boundaries. And if they're not willing to leave, then we leave. We don't make anybody do anything. We take care of ourselves. Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. It is a great book. I am finding through my own work all the things he is trying. I'm afraid I will always hit this block. You won't always hit the block. I must stick to these boundaries. I must create and be consistent in this safe space. Yes, I get that for sure. Very well said. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? This is all, it's all about us. You ever hear people say, I'm just going to take care of me now. And we say, oh, they're so selfish. Well, because the motive, I'm hearing someone that was in my life at a time. I'm just going to take care of me now. And she was pissed off about it and just angry. And it was a barrier for her. Now, when I say to you, this is all about us, because it's all about us coming home to ourselves, treating ourselves with love and kindness, loving ourselves, checking in with ourselves, saying no later, even if we said yes before, right? Honoring who we are and where we're at any given moment, which changes constantly. So I may have said, yes, I'm going to go to this event in a week. And then the week comes, the day comes, I'm like, nope, it's just not for me today. And honor that. Call me friend. I know we make plans. I'm just not up for it. We don't owe anybody a big explanation about it. It's about us taking care of ourselves and our energy space. And having the respect for ourselves and the boundary for ourselves. I have phone calls with different friends, and people with someone I moved. And some days I don't feel like talking. I message them and say, you know, I'm just not up for a conversation today. Oh, all right. We'll talk next week. So that's what I'm talking about. Taking care of ourselves, really checking in. Sometimes my mind's like, I don't feel like it. And my heart and my body's like, yeah, we need to go do that thing. So there's a discernment, right? Sometimes just the mind, just because I don't feel like it. I used to do that. Now I say no. Exactly. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. We don't know any explanation. The more we give explanation, the more we can be, well, if you have those kind of people, they will manipulate you to use that, whatever information you just gave them to get what they want. So, yes, thank you for the hearts and the conversation. I love the interaction. Top of the hour. Any other final questions before we move about our day? It is, I got to learn the good of all. It's great to work on the self. He just doesn't check in on his own with me. Yeah. So then explain, if I'm always coming to you, how are you honoring the marriage? Not daily in it as well, in some small way. I will be checking in more. I put myself in a wilderness season. I know I have more work to do. Bless you. Oh, yes. Throw some gaslighting in there. Oh, my God, right? Yes. Yes, that's all. The more conversation. Yes. Yes, checking this, like the season that you're in. You've been married 24 years. It's a long marriage. And so maybe there's a counseling, doing couples counseling. Maybe you get a coach. I would volunteer. Let's talk. Because sometimes I have a coach. You know, I was talking to someone, I'm going to be a therapist, and I don't want people to know that in the town that I have a therapist. I said, well, don't you know all therapists and coaches have therapists and coaches? We all do, because we're all on this path. We're all on this path. So you can reach me at, just went out of my head, Marty at empathicsuperpower.com. You can direct message me if you want to talk some more offline. If you're interested in coaching, all those things. There's no pressure about any of it, but you can reach out to me. And we'll have some more conversation. Men have to understand that men don't cause, they are men. We do have counseling. He has started recently too. Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. You know what? And we also don't get to know, we don't get to say what, oh, well, let's see. Hold on. Let me back up. I don't get to say how he is doing his own growth. I only get to take care of my growth. And it's not going to look the way that I do it. How my husband does it does not look the way that I do it. I had a coach too, and past that is, and a past that is on. I'm not sure what that. Not sure what that was. I'm not reading that clearly. I had a coach too, and a past that is on fire. Oh, and a past that is on fire. Is that what you mean? Anyway, I will be here next week. Pastor. Oh, got it. I need to. I love that. You're in the tub. What a great place to be. Thanks, Mariah. I'm so glad I came across you this morning. You have to go get ready, but what a blessing your words have been. Thank you for being you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here too. I am grateful for you all. I love you all. I love being here. So I will see you here. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks. Lisa's here. Like everything I do, she's here. So I'm very grateful. I'll see you next Wednesday here at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I was in the tub the first time I watched it. Oh my God, that's so awesome. also be your connection. In the tub when Marty goes live. Wednesdays at 9, right here. Very welcome, Sammy. All right, I'll see you here next week. Have a fabulous week. Reach out to me if you have more that you want to talk about. New fan, awesome. I love it. You are going on my calendar. Yay! Just tuning in. Cassie, catch it. It'll be here. It's recorded, of course. Oh, thank you so much. I'm truly, truly grateful. All right, y'all. Have a blessed week. Namaste.